The shotgun's barrel gleamed under the street lamp, aimed straight at Amara's heart. She stood frozen, her breath caught, as the leader's snarl echoed. "You don't belong here." Amara Jenkins, a 32-year-old nurse, had moved to this small town seeking a quieter life after years in the city. Tonight, her evening walk home from the clinic turned into a nightmare. Three men, their faces shadowed by hoods, had followed her from the corner store. Their slurs started low, then grew louder, uglier. Now, they had her cornered on this empty road, the shotgun's click shattering the silence. Her pulse raced, but her eyes burned with defiance. She wasn't just fighting for herself, she was fighting for every black person who'd ever faced this hate. "Who do you think you are?" The leader, a wiry man with a scar across his cheek, spat. His name was Caleb, though Amara didn't know it yet. His two companions, emboldened by liquor and rage, jeered. One clutched a baseball bat, tapping it against his palm. The other, younger, barely 20, shifted nervously but didn't back down. They were a gang known in town for terrorizing anyone who didn't look like them. Last week, they'd spray-painted slurs on a black family's car. Tonight, they'd chosen Amara. "You're making a mistake," Amara said, her voice steady despite the tremor in her hands. She'd faced prejudice before, whispers at work, stares in stores, but this was raw, violent hatred. Her mind raced for a way out. The road was deserted, her phone dead in her pocket. But Amara had learned long ago that fear was a luxury she couldn't afford. Caleb laughed, a cold, hollow sound. "Mistake? You're the one who don't fit." He stepped closer, the shotgun steady. His eyes gleamed with the thrill of power. "This town's ours." Amara's gaze darted to the side. A rusted pipe lay half buried in the dirt, just out of reach. If she could distract them, maybe she could grab it. "You think that gun makes you strong?" she said, her voice rising. "You're just cowards hiding behind it." The younger one flinched, his eyes flickering with doubt. Caleb's face twisted. "Shut up," he barked, jabbing the gun forward. But Amara saw a crack in his bravado. She pressed harder. "You're scared. Scared of a world where people like me don't bow to people like you." The bat wielder lunged, swinging wildly. Amara ducked, her instincts kicking in from years of self-defense classes her mother insisted she take. She rolled toward the pipe, her fingers closing around it as Caleb shouted. The bat came down again, grazing her shoulder. Pain flared, but adrenaline surged. She swung the pipe, catching the bat wielder's knee. He crumpled, howling. The younger one froze, his bravado crumbling. "Caleb, let's go," he stammered, but Caleb was too far gone, his finger tightening on the trigger. Amara's heart pounded. She had seconds. She hurled the pipe at Caleb's arm, knocking the shotgun's aim skyward. A deafening blast tore through the night, the shot scattering harmlessly into the trees. Amara didn't hesitate. She charged Caleb, tackling him to the ground. The shotgun skidded across the pavement. The younger one bolted, abandoning his friends. The bat wielder, still clutching his knee, begged, "Please, don't." Caleb, pinned beneath her, gasped for air, his arrogance replaced by panic. "Get off me," he wheezed, but Amara held firm, her knee on his chest. "You don't get to terrorize people," she said, her voice low and fierce. "Not me. Not anyone." Headlights flashed in the distance. Someone had heard the shot. A neighbor's truck roared up, and an older man, Mr. Thompson, jumped out, his own rifle in hand. He'd known Amara from the clinic, where she'd treated his wife. "You okay?" he called, his eyes wide at the scene. Amara nodded, standing as Caleb and his friend cowered. "They need to learn," she said, her breath ragged but resolute. Sirens wailed faintly, growing closer. The town's sheriff, slow to act on hate crimes, wouldn't ignore this. As the police arrived, Caleb and his accomplice were handcuffed, their bravado reduced to whimpers. Amara stood tall, her shoulder aching but her spirit unbroken. She'd faced the worst of humanity and come out stronger. The crowd that gathered, neighbors, some who'd ignored her before, looked at her differently now. some with shame, others with respect. In the days that followed, Amara's story spread. The town, once complicit in its silence, began to change. A community meeting was called, and Amara spoke, her voice carrying the weight of her survival. "Hate doesn't win unless we let it," she said. Some nodded, others looked away. But the seed was planted. Amara didn't move away. She stayed, tending to patience, walking the same streets, her head high. The wooden signpost by the road, where the attack happened, now bore a new message, scrawled by an anonymous hand. "Justice stands tall." It wasn't perfect, but it was a start. And Amara knew that courage, not hate, would shape the future. Thank you for listening. If you find it interesting, please like and subscribe to follow the next stories.